right, here's my topic for today. Take everything personal or take nothing personal at all.
All right. So I think the safer answer is to take everything personal, but that is not what I would choose. Like I would choose to not take everything personal. Like because in like right now there's not many things that I do take personal. Like when people say it, like if somebody says something to me that's like meant to be an insult, like I just won't care.
Yeah.
Like I don't really think I'm insecure that much right now in my life enough to take everything personal. Like I could be okay with just like people saying shit to me and me not really caring because it's not far from what I'm doing right now. So yeah, take everything. And like, why would you also want to live life
Yeah.
taking everything personal? Like then you're gonna consistently be upset. Just it causes more problems in the end, even though it's like technically safer because you'll always have your guard up. It's just a boring way to live life. I just don't want to live life like that. So yeah, I will take nothing serious ever.
Oh, he doesn't have one. Wait for this.
Yeah, I would say I agree with Kaden because people are retarded sometimes, you know? Like, yeah, they
Facts, though.
they are just retarded, and if you take everything personal, you're gonna be upset, angry, and your life is not gonna work, you know? Because um it's a fact that you have to listen to some people, but you don't have to observe all the things, you know what I mean, that they
Yeah,
say. So
facts.
sometimes someone is passing through a bad time and is just being an idiot or retarded. And I think, yeah, you know, you shouldn't take everything personally, but it depends. You're having a bad day too, like how you feel about it,
Yeah.
about yourself at this point. And yeah, you should you should like have this in your mind sometimes, you know, because how can I say how do I say that? I would say that I mean it. People are retarded sometimes, they are just retarded. So
Yeah.
don't take it too personal.
It's very interesting. There was actually a different take that I was going for because I think that at the end of the day, you're gonna have days where you don't care at all, or you're gonna have days where you take everything personal. You know what I mean? Depending on, like he said, your mood. Um, so I think it's kind of just a matter of dealing with both at the same time. That's really my thought process coming into take everything personal or nothing at all, because I think that there's kind of positive sides to both and negative sides to both. I think that people that choose to take nothing personal are more like you, where they're kind of at a point in their life where they don't really need to listen to what people say. They're
Yeah,
very secure with themselves. But I can also see the beauty in taking everything personal at the same time, because that means that you care so much about everything around you. You know what I mean?
that's
You're you're
this is true.
you're able to see the beauty in everything around you. I kind of like that sometimes because, like, even for me, I don't like putting in headphones while I walk to work. Just I like to walk around. I go to work really early, so I get to watch the sunrise, and I also get to see the trees around me and stuff. And I would say that I take all those things personal in my own self. But again, there's a lot of points where I lean more towards your side, because I'm also at a point where, bro, I work like 4 jobs. Like, what do I have to feel insecure about? You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
facts.
I'm
I
getting
agree.
I'm getting more money than most of the people my age.
Yeah,
So to me, it's just like it doesn't
yeah,
really matter. But I think that picking and choosing those moments really do matter, because if you're someone like yourself that doesn't really take things personal, but you have an overreaction to somebody, that means that you care about that person. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Which is also beauty in itself, because that means that you care enough about that person to take what they're doing personal. You
yeah,
know?
yeah. I agree. Um, I still think I just as a person that doesn't really even I don't even really like validation that much.
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
when it comes from outside sources, like I don't really care if, like I don't play to make people clap or like, you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
don't do things for praise. Like I think it's not honorable. Like it's just like not humble, and that's not stuff that I want to be associated with. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I know people that do that, and I'm just like, what are you, like? Literally, why are you doing this?
yeah,
Like that makes no sense. Like just play well, and nobody else has anything to say to you. Like nobody can call me a bad player because I know I'm a good player. Like
yeah,
I get called to go play places. People like playing with me, so why should I feel insecure that somebody calls me a bad player? You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's common sense. And if you're putting yourself in a position where you're like where you're even giving energy to shit like that is it's just you're losing at that point.
yeah,
And I just want to hold myself to a better standard, and the way to do that is to disregard everybody else in your life, because at the end of the day you know what's right
yeah,
for yourself. You know what I mean? If I say I want to be somewhere, nobody else can tell me that that's not the best place for me. You know what I mean? Like it's
yeah,
just a fact. So yeah, I'm just gonna continue to not care because it's my journey and I'm taking it and I know I'm taking the right steps to do it. So nobody else can tell me anything about it. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
I agree. I think that there's two different kinds of people in life, you know. And like you mentioned, there are people out there that care about validation. I mean, I feel like in the past I used to be one, but now I'm not really like that. I live a much more secluded life. I feel like a very more
And
private kind of life, you know,
yeah,
just because I'm always working and always doing something. But I think that the people that do work for validation or play for validation are kind of just in their own little separate stereotype from mine, just because our personalities are kind of different. And at the end of the day, you know, there's people that will do something and want the world to look at them, and there's people that will produce something and want the world to look at their work instead. You know,
yeah, I agree.
and I think that no matter what you're going for, you know, obviously, when I have these conversations or when I just try to help anyone in general, no matter what I'm doing, I
Mhm.
don't really try and kind of force someone into one way of doing things, even when I'm the one reproducing it. Because, you know, who am I to tell you to do something the exact same way I'm doing it? Because, you know, someone did that to me and I ended up creating my own path, you know, and
Mhm.
everything that I do. I promise you, I don't do everything by the book at Jersey Mike's. You know, sometimes I be straying, but sometimes you gotta learn when to conform, and I do that too.
Yeah,
But I would
facts.
say that at the end of the day, if there's one thing I learned is that there's a lot of information out there, you know. And when I'm trying to teach someone to do something, I'm never trying to teach them the exact same way that I did it. I'm trying to recreate that feeling that I first got when I first started my journey,
Yeah,
you know.
facts.
Because
That's
if you
fire.
can light that into someone, then you know you can get them to produce their own work, which is pretty fire.
That's fire. Yeah, I agree with that heavily. Like if you yeah, I don't think I teach anybody in my life like how to do things the exact way that I do them. Cause
Yeah,
like I like genuinely I don't do anything like by the book. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I
yeah,
that's
yeah,
just the way I live my life. Like I'm not the type of person to conform to like the norm. Like I do things my way and it works out for me.
yeah,
So like I'm just gonna encourage people to do that same thing for themselves. You know what I mean? And like just like you said, the way to do that is to ignite that same feeling. But I I'd say it's just even igniting like the same idea, like the same connective thought process that will get you to the outcome that you need to get to. And for everybody that's different. And if you're just able to take the first step for somebody, they'll take the rest. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
as soon as you get their motor going, they're gonna like the car's gonna run.
Yeah,
So
I agree. I think you do a pretty good job of it because it's evident in certain videos. You know, even though we didn't have the mic, there's that film we had with I'm not name dropping anybody, but that one person that you helped at NJCU that one time, and
mhm.
you told her to do something. She did the complete opposite and still scored. And when I came up to you, I was like, oh, but she didn't do it the way you wanted to. And you were like, bro, it's cool. As long as she's scoring, I'm not gonna get mad at her for scoring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is a valid take. It's pretty fire. You know, because I've seen people, and I'm not saying there's one right or wrong way, because if you want to force someone to do things your way, be my guest.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
facts.
There's organizations and there's companies for a reason. Like at Jersey Mike's, I don't really get the freedom of doing whatever I want, but that's because there's a step-by-step process that's proven and effective every
Yeah,
single time.
yeah,
So if you want to be like that, that's cool. But there's also other times where I've seen people get mad and kind of freak out over other people doing something even a little bit different, just in anything.
mhm.
And I think that for me, my creative process is I was realizing this one day as I was looking over the city, and it's like, the sun is always there, and no matter whether it's rainy, cloudy, or bright as day, it's always going to be there. The same way that information is always going to be there on a day-to-day basis. It's really up to you to look at it. Like before I started taking my headphones off on my way to work, Hoboken is a very beautiful city.
It is. I take the walk all the time with no headphones.
Yeah,
I do the same thing.
right. It's just fire. But I never really noticed that because my earphones were like the clouds, and they were
Yeah,
just disguising the sun, which was literally the nature around me.
yeah,
So when I realized that, and I kind of just look around, it's like, hey, if I'm trying to help someone do something, they see things completely different than me because each person is like a cloud day by day. Some people are clouded, some people are sunny as day. So
mhm.
just gotta tap in and see what's up. And that's why I enjoy having these conversations because hey, maybe I'm having a clouded day, and your day is bright as the sun. Maybe I could talk to you, get information that I need to help me in my life.
Indeed, indeed, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think everybody should walk in Hoboken without headphones. Bro. It is a good experience.
Yo, is this a canon life-changing event?
I mean, it is. I mean, there was a point, bro, when I lost. Okay, so I was going to class. I went to class, and I was like, damn, forgot my headphones at home. It's like, all right, I'm just gonna have to raw dog all the walks I'm gonna take today because I knew I was gonna take a lot of walks. It was a Friday, and like shit was gonna get lit. You know what I mean? So I already knew that I was gonna have to walk and do bullshit. So my friends go and ask me, yo, go to First Street. All right, I'll go to First Street. And I'm walking and I'm like, huh. The ambiance of Hoboken on like a nice day
Yeah.
and like just the vibrations that are in the air they're just unmatched. And if you're able to like understand and perceive all the things going on around you, like it shows the beauty and like in humanity because Hoboken is like a picture perfect city,
Yeah.
quote unquote.
Yeah.
Like to the naked eye.
Yeah.
If you just look at it at its plain value, Hoboken is it's a great place to be. So yeah, I noticed all that shit. I'm like, damn, I really do I really do enjoy the place that I go to school, which is why I think I started doing better because I realized like, damn, I really do like it here. So I want to stay. Yeah. So walk in your areas with no headphones
Yeah.
if it's a good area.
If it's
Yeah.
if it's a bad area, just don't go outside.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If it's a bad area, you're cooked. But hey, all the nice area people, try it.
Don't
Yeah.
go to Newark like 2 a.m.
Yeah. Newark
Yeah.
2 a.m. Actually,
Don't go.
yeah, no, you're gonna hear some crazy shit. Newark 2 a.m. with no
Yeah,
headphones on.
but sidetrack on that because your whole story made me realize that what got you to lock in on your grades wasn't people yelling at you or people telling you to do better. It was the self-realization that you need to do better and
Yeah,
your own
facts.
personal reason for it, which actually brings me to a side but funny story. And side point actually is that I don't know. I think me and you are the type of people that really like to do things for ourselves and for no other reason.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, I do.
and sometimes those reasons involve other people. Like if someone calls me like, "Yo, you want to go somewhere?" There, and I really don't want to go, but they're like, "Hey, Gio's there. I'll probably pop by because I love you, Gio. I love you." But on the other hand, there also be some times where people will call, "Yo, you want to come to this open gym, get some runs in?" Da, da, da. Oh, good. I just worked a 12-hour shift. Yo, Kane's gonna be like, yo, that's great. You have a fun time with him, bro. Not just hang up. You know
That's
what I mean?
crazy.
Because
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
that's facts.
it's I don't know. I don't need any other reason to go other than the fact that I'm well rested and I'm healthy. I just want to go do it for myself.
Facts.
Yeah.
I just yeah, I'm at the same point where it's like like nobody really like impacts my train of thought that much like at this point in my life because like now that I'm actually getting my shit done and like really nothing is going on bad in my life, knock on any piece of wood near me. Now that I'm finally like, all right, shit's going smooth, it's gonna be all right. You know what I mean? Like I got nobody to worry about. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do my shit when I want to do it because I'm
Yeah,
allowed to. Like,
yeah. I agree because I'm also getting to that point in my life. Again, thank God, knock on wood, nothing
yeah,
goes wrong with that.
facts.
But I would say like for me at least, uh, I'm not sure if it's like I don't know your exact thought process, but mine is a little bit different. I would say just because like I'm at a point where I'm cool being with myself, and I actually at a certain point, wow, it was crazy because I was driving the other day, and I forgot who I was in the car with, and no offense to whoever I was in the car with, but I would have rather just been alone at that point. I was
Crazy.
driving until like an hour drive or something, but yeah, I realized that was pretty crazy. Cause I was like, wow, I'm really at a point in my life where I'd rather just be alone.
Yeah, facts.
But like to a certain degree, because at the end of the day, like if I realize, and I actually realized this reading Aristotle, like a couple other philosophers, it's like if you don't have friends, Aristotle says that if you didn't have friends, you would lose the will to live. And he's not saying that you can't live by yourself and also live a virtuous life. He's saying that literally, if we did not have friends, that we would not have a grasp of anything outside of ourselves.
Facts.
And I think that like on a day to day basis, even people that I wouldn't consider friends or like people that I would consider mentors in a sense, I do think about like, hey, what is this person doing right now? Or like, how would this person view this? And I think that I do gain a lot of perspective out of you and that, you know what I mean? But I think it really just depends on like Aristotle said again, the type of friendship that you have with that person. Because at the end of the day, Aristotle breaks it down into utility, pleasure, and virtuous friendships. And I think that when you have a virtuous friendship with someone, you learn how to perceive the world through their eyes and their thought process. And I think that you gain their sense of empathy. There was a point in human history where everyone was kind of just a nepo baby, and the way that kings used to help them out was or make them feel pain was by having someone befriend them and then hurting them instead
Yeah,
because they felt bad for them.
yeah.
And I think that obviously we don't do that today anymore because that's just inhumane. But I think that to a certain degree we kind of do learn our senses of morals and social norms from having friendships like that.
Mhm.
Like if I were to do something to Enrique or I were to do something to, actually wait, literally just recently I said something disrespectful to you, and I was like, wait a minute, not you saw the immediate just like clap back and to apology. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because at the end of the day, if I didn't care about someone that deeply enough as a friend or a human being, then I wouldn't be able to recognize that that was wrong in my brain. And I would just go around and talking to anybody however I want. So I just
Facts.
want to clarify, for my part at least, I'm not saying to live on your own and go on an island and just desert yourself from everything. Not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that I enjoy an hour ride by myself at least once a day. But besides that hour ride, usually I enjoy talking to my friends. You know what I mean? Just want to
Yeah,
clarify. That's all I'm
facts,
at. Yeah,
facts. No, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
I agree. Like the rides that I take sometimes to like NJCU, I'm just like, damn, I enjoy this a lot more than just like, you know what I mean?
just
Like,
being in the car. Yeah,
yeah, like
and it's not even anything personal. It's just
yeah,
like
literally, I just like I'm in the mood to just like drive and just be zen. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like my rides to school are so fire, and like the times that my parents aren't in the crib are so fire. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
but those are like the moments where I just get to breathe and I just get to like literally like I have no filter. Like I'm by myself. I like it's just me.
Yeah,
It's just like you gotta appreciate that, bro, because you really don't get that a lot. To where
yeah,
like
Yeah.
you're so always consistently connected to somebody around you. It's like there's not a moment in like time where like you're completely disconnected from anybody else, and the moments that happen are like you in the car, and even that doesn't really count if you're playing music because
yeah.
you're in the car listening to somebody else talk about something else.
Yo, it's crazy because sometimes I'll think I'm crazy because I'll literally be something. I'm like, yo, I'm not feeling this
I'm
right now. And
saying
I'll just turn it
I'll
off,
just
like
turn it down,
genuinely, yeah,
yeah, and I'll just be
yeah.
like, yeah,
I'll
I'm
just
just
turn
trying to drive, bro.
and just thinking,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
just
it's,
think,
I can tell.
but you need those moments, bro, because that's where you start to learn how to literally really connect to yourself, like how to just be in your own presence.
yeah,
And if you don't have that ability, then you're never gonna have discipline. Like those two things go hand in hand.
I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I had the opportunity when I was in Brazil to live by myself for like a couple months,
Mm-hmm.
and it was amazing because you know I knew myself
Mm-hmm.
as well. You know what I mean. Like
Mm-hmm.
I knew what I would like to do, what time, how the things works for me, like
Facts.
how when I'm gonna wake up and do my breakfast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These
Yeah,
simple things that make your like a person,
yeah,
Yeah.
individual.
yeah,
So you guys didn't have the opportunity. I think you guys didn't have the opportunity to live by yourselves
Mm-mm.
yet, but
This is my house.
no, but
No, but
you
you
always
said
Oh, the room.
live
Okay,
with
yeah,
us,
yeah,
like
yeah,
your
yeah,
mother was living here,
yeah,
your
yeah,
dad.
yeah.
So, yeah, I think you need that. You need that time by yourself to know you better.
Facts.
You know,
Facts.
I
like,
agree.
and actually, it's a dangerous place to be because sometimes it's so peaceful, bro.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
so peaceful that you don't want to be surrounded by anyone sometimes, you know what I mean? Like,
Real.
and if you like adjust yourself to that, you're not gonna be around anyone for a long time. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Facts.
but
It's a healthy balance.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
Yo, I was just about to say that. I'm slowly starting to realize because the way we started this conversation, right, was I didn't even mean it in an or literal kind of sentence. You know, you took it that, which is fine because it's like an open interpretation, right?
Mhm.
But like, damn, that just made me slowly realize that it's not so much most of the time in life about one or the other. It's kind of just about finding a balance in a sense, but also kind of like a meshing together. You know,
Yeah.
and I mean that in a sense of like, you know, when I take my time to clarify, when I take my time to myself, you know, a lot of my thoughts make me better as a human being, which in turn makes me a better human being and a better friend towards you guys. You know what I mean? Like that night where I had said that disrespectful thing to you, you know, it wasn't completely crazy, like, oh my God, but it was still like, all right, I kind of stepped out of line, you know?
Mhm.
And once that recognized in my brain, nope, just apology, drove back. I didn't walk back with you guys. I walked straight to Central just to chill by myself.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because sometimes you need that. I literally promise you, sat there at a diner for a minute, ordered some food, and just sat there and just sat with myself for a minute. You know?
Yeah, it's
And
valid, but you need that.
sometimes you need that just for yourself. And in turn, when you feel better for yourself, you will become a better friend for those around you, and vice versa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You will learn from your friends to be a better person for you, and it's really just a never-ending cycle. You know what I mean? I think that a lot of things are like in life are like that. They're not so much a balance as they kind of are like a meshing. You know, a lot of big events. Like I went to a wedding the other day. You know, again, congratulations, Jabbar and Kiana. But while I was at that wedding, you know, what is a wedding but the meshing of two souls? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a balance. It's not 50-50 of a person.
Yeah,
It's just
literally. It's
emerging.
just like you're literally one person under the law. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And a lot of life is like that because a lot of life is kind of like people view it as two opposite things, but a lot of the time it's just one.
Yeah,
You know?
it's like it's not just black and white, it's also gray. You know what I mean?
Most of the things in life are actually great, which
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I was just telling him about this conversation that we had senior year that I'll go over briefly because we'll probably talk about another time too, but where you were talking about how we need to do things for each other like as a society because if you get it to the point where in any relationship like friendship or romantical the scales are balanced, you know, you both are doing good for each other.
Yeah.
You know, and you brought up the fact that my senior year, you know, I had a job at that point. I was working hard and I paid a lot for our open gyms and like our food, like as a team, like wherever we went out and stuff, you know. And you made it a point to also note that even though you don't exactly give those same things back, you also give a lot of ball knowledge and emotional support back, you know.
Mm.
And so, in a sense, it's like even though both things are completely different, they both weigh the exact same amount,
Yeah,
you know.
facts.
And I think that in its own sense, in its own sense, kind of makes its own version of gray, you know, because
Yeah,
you're meshing two
facts.
things
I
together.
agree, yeah. It's like yeah, everybody has their purpose, you know what I mean? And like if you guys fit, you know, in the right pieces, you guys will just immediately understand that like, yeah, this is enough for me to give this amount back. You know what I mean? And just matching somebody's energy is the best thing. And if you guys match it and realize like, hey, if you're matching it, I trust you, so I'm just gonna give you more shit in hopes that you're gonna give me the same shit back. And
Yeah.
when that keeps happening, that just brings the scale up and up and up. And if it continues long enough, shit gets real.
Yeah. How important would you say that grace is in that type of relationship or just life?
Grace,
Grace, yeah.
yeah, grace is extremely important because if you don't give somebody like if you just completely disregard the long connection that you built up with somebody over one thing, especially if it isn't even really that deep, then it's like you're throwing away like it's like crazy development. Like it's so much like if you really sit and think about it, like if you go into somebody like that you really trust's life and you go back and forth for everything that you've done for each other, it's gonna like the shit piles up really fast. Like that's such an unexpected thing that many people don't really look back on. Where it's like, yo, if I just sit down and I think of every time that me and you did something for each other, I could name literally over probably 1,000 things because we
Probably close to like one. But I'm not gonna lie, I've known you for way too long. I was thinking about that
you
today.
see what I mean?
Yo, I was thinking about it today. I was like, yo, I have known Caden because I was on that exact topic. I was in my head. I was like, yo, I have known Caden for 17 years. Holy shit! Like that's actually crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
like
I was on the same topic of going back and forth. I was like, yo, I think like on a day-to-day basis, you could probably count 100 because like not even just with you, but like just people in general, like the way they interact, think, right? Like we do a lot of things. We do a lot of things unintentionally more than we do intentionally.
yeah,
You know what I
facts.
mean?
Like holding the door for somebody.
So I'm saying, you know what I mean? Like that's actually crazy. You know?
It's you if you really go like it's crazy how fast that shit piles up.
Yeah.
Like so if you really do weigh that shit, like, and you do understand the weight of all of that shit that makes up your relationship, and you let one thing completely tumble that pile, that's just insane. Like honestly, I it needs to be like it needs to be something completely outlandish for me to completely drop somebody that I've known for a good minute.
Yeah.
Like over one thing. It needs to be the most outlandish shit ever. The most crazy shit ever to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the only way.
Yeah.
But if it's over petty shit and it's like common things that like that happen in miscommunication, I'm not just gonna drop somebody over that. I'm gonna talk to them. I'm gonna figure out how it happened, how we're gonna fix it, and we're just gonna move on. You know what I mean? Like that's grace. That's the definition of grace.
Yeah.
It's like the most important thing in a relationship.
Yeah. I agree. And yeah, literally on that topic today was when I realized that because I was also thinking about how we learn empathy from other people, and it's like, wow, if you go on a day-to-day basis, like me and him have known each other for what 6 months. The amount of things that we did, he was just bringing up today how he helped me out with the car thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And stuff like that should make you want to do more for other people too.
Literally.
You know what I mean? Like I would say, as much as we just talked about, you know, being on our own stuff, it's because we're social creatures that we value our time alone. You know,
Facts, literally.
so it's like we're gonna be interacting with people more than not. So you might as well learn to interact with people a little more.
Yeah,
You know?
literally. Like,
That being said, you know, I would define a virtuous relationship as very, very, very extremely rare because there's really not a lot of people. And I again realized this today, where I was like, yo, I can literally only name one other person who's not in my life before that I've ever known for as long as like you, Gio, LJ, and like all of them. You know what I mean? And that's pretty crazy. You know?
Yeah.
So I would say that virtuous relationships are kind of far and thin because again, they require what you just talked about with the back and forth, you know. And even more so, I think that virtuous relationships are kind of like the merging of one soul in its own array because you can kind of literally pick apart someone's thought process that you know that well.
Yeah.
Which is why people are so scared to open up, I feel like nowadays at least, because our generation really started that whole thing. But I think that people are really scared to open up because they just don't want someone else to be in their head literally,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And honestly, if you could reach that point of, you know, I would say at least 10 to 15 years plus of going back and forth and trusting somebody and it not being toxic in a sense, then, you know, it's the harm of letting someone in your mind. You know what I mean?
Literally. It only benefits you because now you have somebody that you can call on, like that will know your best intention.
Yeah.
It's only benefits you truly.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that at the end of the day, when I talk to someone or, you know, when I think of someone that I can call on, all my friends, you know, like you, Gio or LJ, that I can call are gonna be honest with me. You know what I mean? Like there have been certain points where you're like, yeah, nah, you're tripping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I respect that and I will back off. You know? Like I would say another person that does that is just my mom in a more harsh way because obviously your parents are always gonna look out for you. You know? But I would say my mom has definitely had moments where she tells me like, you're tripping, you know?
Yeah.
But in a sense of a motherly way, and I think that when that happens, people just need to keep in mind that parents can be really overprotective. Like I would say, no offense to my mom, but I would trust some of my friends more to give me the right advice for what's necessary for me because sometimes when I ask my parents something that involves other people, like, yo, should I do this for this person? Da, da, da. They're mainly trying to look out for me, and that was
Yeah, I agree.
beneficial both
I
before
agree.
with both. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Whereas I feel like LJ will be like, all right, you know, I see how you're helping this person. I can see how they can help you back. You're both benefiting each other. You know, go ahead. You know,
Yeah, facts. I agree. Yeah, and like I appreciate like my mom. Like I agree to 100%. Like your parents are so much more like your parents will underestimate your ability a lot more than overestimate
it's also
because
just biased for your safety.
yeah, like
Yeah.
literally that's the reason why they will do that.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, my mom is like pitying me or babying me. Like, no, my mom is being my mother.
Looking out for my best
Yeah.
interest. Yeah,
Like
literally.
like my
Yeah.
mom is being my mom. So like I'm not just gonna crash out on her and just wild out. Unless I feel like, yo,
Yo, you stop that shit. So I'm not gonna crash on it unless, yeah,
unless it's truly egregious, then okay.
yeah. I can agree on
Then
that.
okay. But like if it's just like, oh, like I don't think it's a good idea that you go and pick this person up. I mean, this person is 5 minutes away from me. I'm just gonna drive there and then drive to my location. Like it's not
Yeah,
like I'm driving 30 minutes to go pick somebody up. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
so shit like that. Whatever. Cool. Yeah. I mean, do your own shit. Be your own boss, bro. That's
Yeah.
it. Be your own boss. If you really truly feel that you're ready for it, bro, you can't lie to yourself.
Yeah.
You feel you're ready, be your own boss, bro.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy. We started this whole thing off with to take everything personal or take nothing personal at all, right? And it's like we just went through 6 different subtopics, flip flopping both sides that basically correlate to both sides. You know what I mean?
facts.
Yeah,
Like,
I would say that
that's
like
pretty crazy.
it's kind of impossible. It's kind of it's kind of impossible you choose one side because
Yeah.
you know we are individuals, bro. We have different thoughts. We have different kind of ways to act. You know, like um, sometimes you're like, oh, okay, fuck this shit. I don't give a fuck. You know,
Yeah.
but sometimes you care for the person. So I think it's just a thing like, bro, should I care about this person? Should I care about this person to take this personally? You know, even if
I
it
agree.
is in a bad way or in a good way, you know,
Yeah,
because when you are like, you're saying some shit, you say that you say some shit to Kaden,
yeah,
but you care about him. So
yeah,
you take personal, you
yeah.
know, and you apologize.
Take my own self
Yeah.
personal. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
take your
Because
own
if I
self.
didn't care, then I wouldn't take my own words personal.
Yeah, but he didn't care.
No, he did care.
He didn't take personal.
No, he definitely did take it personal in the moment. I'm
You
not
take-
gonna lie. He did. Because the moment I knew I messed up was because he looked at me. He was like, bro. I was like, yeah. Because I'm not gonna lie. And I talked about this with LJ and Gio. Literally the next day after, I was like, yo, that I was at Gio's house. I was like, yeah. And then he said, bro. And then I was looking at him like, damn, bro. I'm not gonna lie. You messed up because Caden never says that shit. I was like, yeah. But at that point, that's another moment where it's like, even if I wasn't in the wrong, sometimes you just gotta suck it up, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if I notice that my friend, someone that I care about, is taking something personal, even if I think like, yo, it's no big deal, which I didn't in the moment at all.
Yeah.
Sometimes you still just gotta be like, all right, I gotta take one for the team because this person is feeling some type of way that they usually don't feel.
Yeah.
So I should probably take one for the team. You know what I mean?
So
I think that-
I mean it. It's impossible to choose just one side. You know, like sometimes you're gonna take personally, sometimes you don't give a fuck. So.
Yeah. Which was actually gonna be my next point in that was like people will pick and choose what to take personally, not just based off of how they feel about someone or a given situation, but also whether it's good or bad. And I think personally that you cannot just choose to take the bad personally. You know what I mean?
Facts. I agree.
You also have to take the good personally. Like I've had a lot of good happen in my life. He just listened to me go about like what an hour and a half rant about how awesome of a person Drupo and Artem and Jabbar are. You know what I mean? They all have acts on a daily basis, including you two, that I choose to take personally because I know that you guys care about me. You know what I mean? And honestly, I think that you should strive to get to a point in your life where you take more good personally than bad. You know? Like that's a point that I'm starting to get to now where sometimes I'll just go into work and somebody, you know, whether it be a consistent basis or just a one-time thing, will say something to me. I mean, yo, this does not matter to me. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, this person is saying something negative to me and I could choose to take it personal, But at the end of the day, 9 out of 10 times, I know I'm going to see one of you guys most of the time during the day. You know what I mean?
Literally, man.
So there's so much good that I'm going to have later in the day that I could choose to take personally instead. So why would I not just do that? You know? And I think that just comes from like growth and maturity and who you're trying to surround yourself with. Because there's certain points in my life where I've recognized, hey, you know, this person does a lot for me. I'm learning a lot from them. We're also growing off each other. So why would I not just want to spend more time with them?
Literally,
You know what I mean?
literally.
And I think that once you realize that, you'll start taking a lot more stuff personally that will benefit you.
Facts.
Yeah.
Work.
Nice.